Hi, and welcome back to Focal Point AFR Talk. My name is Brian Fisher. The program is Focal Point. The network is AFR Talk. And I am your congenial, convivial, and amiable host, Brian Fisher. One of the projects that we get involved in every year here at AFR Talk is Operation Christmas Child. This is where we pack a shoebox for a needy child in some part of the world. This is one of the agencies or one of the arms of Samaritan's Purse, Franklin Graham. And we're honored to have with us as a guest on our decision maker line, Christy Jordan. Christy Jordan has gotten involved with Operation Christmas Child, and we want to have Christy tell us her story. Christy, welcome to Focal Point with Brian Fisher.
Thank you so much. I'm thrilled to be here.
Well, Christy, it's an honor to have you with us, and it's intriguing to me because of what you do when you're not working with Operation Christmas Child. You are the editor of Southern Living magazine.
Actually, I'm a contributing editor to Taste of the South now.
Okay, Taste of the South. All right, so you've moved on from Southern Living.
Southern Living. Yes,
okay.
It's a wonderful group. Both of them are excellent magazines.
All right, so you are contributing editor for Taste of the South magazine. You're a critic on GSN's Beat the Chefs. You're one of the critics there. And you're the owner of SouthernPlate.com, which has been identified as one of the top 25 food blogs in the USA for 2012. So that's right now as you and I are speaking. So
yes, isn't that something?
yeah. So anyway, congratulations on this terrific career that you've carved out for yourself. Well, tell us how you began your involvement as somebody that works in the industry that you do, contributing editor for Taste of the South magazine and all that. How did you wind up getting involved or connected to Operation Christmas Child?
You know, it's like so many things in my life, in my career. It's funny for me to even say I have a career because I'm just, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and God just kind of took hold of a few things. And I often say I'm where I am because God likes to take the least qualified among us and just put us right where he wants us to be. And everything's just bloomed from that. I have two children, two wonderful children, a wonderful husband, and we've always packed shoe boxes, but, we kind of did it because our church suggested we do it, and it was the right thing to do, and it was a good thing to do, but we did it with this amount of disconnect. I think most people do. You help with these charities and these organizations, and you hope it has an impact, and you hope you make a difference. But then in the end, we really kind of don't know, from on a first-hand basis. And I had an opportunity. OCC approached me earlier this year and asked if I would like to go on a partner distribution trip and get to deliver my shoebox firsthand. And, of course, I jumped at the opportunity. And I got to go to Ecuador with a group of people from Samaritan's Purse and Operation Christmas Child. And I got to go into these villages and meet these children and hand out the shoeboxes and watch them as they open them and just see the impact and the difference it makes in their lives. And it was just an amazing opportunity to see. Yes, it really does make a difference. Every single shoebox really does make a difference.
Our Vice President, Buddy Smith, had an opportunity to go with his wife, Carol, to Ecuador also on a partner distribution trip and brought back some video. On our trip. Okay, so you got to know them. So he brought back video, and we got to see those shoe boxes being distributed. We got to see the reaction of the kids. We got to see something about the way they worship God down there. It was just a fantastic, and it's a very moving experience. It's one thing to hear about these stories. It's another thing to kind of actually see the video of these children receiving them, and then it's yet another thing to talk to someone like yourself that was actually there, and you witnessed it with your own eyes and with your own ears.
It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. I was at one stop. My daughter, Katie Rose, she was 6, and she had packed a shoebox, and she had picked up this very special doll. She got one for her and one for the little girl with her shoebox. And I knew that God would show me who to give this box to. And we went to the last distribution stop, and I sat down, and my eyes just locked on this little 2-year-old girl across from me. And she was holding this doll, didn't have any clothes on. It looked like it was an old doll, probably been around, since Methuselah. And it belonged to the school. And I looked at her and I thought, she needs this doll. This is her doll. And I went over to her after the children usually put on a ceremony for you. They dance and they sing for us. And after the little presentation, I went to her and I handed her the shoebox. And she just looked up at me and she held it and she patted it a few times. And it was wrapped in Christmas paper. I realized she had never had a wrapped gift before.
Wow.
And she just thought I'd given her this box wrapped in paper.
Huh.
And so I had to actually teach her how to unwrap the paper. And when she opened it, her eyes just lit up.
Wow.
And she saw the doll and just held it to her, and that was it for her. You know, everything else in the shoebox was lost for the time. And I knew that, this had changed the little girl's life. She would never forget that. And then in addition, there was a copy of the Gospel of Jesus Christ written in Spanish for her to hopefully take home to her family. And, we don't know. We go, and when you pack a shoebox, you're giving them an experience, but you're also planting a seed. And you're just saying, here, God, take root in this and do what you will.
Well, and that's the beauty of the Operation Christmas Child to me, Christy, is that it's not just about giving material gifts to these needy children, but it's also about giving them the gift of life and introducing them to the one who can give them living water and the food that came down from heaven for the rest of their lives.
Absolutely. You're opening up this entire family, and you're scattering these seeds, and then just turning it over to God. And we all know the miracles that he can do, that he's done in all of our lives. And so, I think there's this longing in all of us, especially as Christians, to go out there and to love and show love and just spread the love of Christ. We're so filled with it, and we just want to give it every chance we can. And this is such an easy opportunity to do that. Many of us, I'm surprised I've ever left my home of Alabama. I'm surprised I've ever left the state. I had to get my passport for this. I'd never had a passport. And many of us won't have, those opportunities to go, but we can still spread that love just by packing a shoebox. We can have an impact. We can help with that around the world just by packing a simple shoebox.
Talking here, guest on our Decision Maker line is Christy Jordan, who is a contributing editor for Taste of the South magazine. She's a critic on GSN's Beat the Chefs program, and she's the owner and publisher of SouthernPlate.com, one of the top 25 food blogs in the United States. That's current designation. And Christy, if you had one word you could say to our listening audience, we're getting ready to crank up for Operation Christmas Child once again this year. Tell our listeners why, in your judgment, they ought to get involved and pack up some shoebox gifts for Operation Christmas Child.
These make a difference to the least among us. It really does. You want to reach out. Oftentimes we do wonder, am I really making a difference? If I donate, is it really going to go to the organization I hope it goes to? And we go ahead and do it in faith and in hope, but I can tell you firsthand, this makes a difference. Every shoebox really changes a child's life.
Well, and Christy, if listeners want to get more involved, now's the time to start pulling the information together. How can they get involved and wind up packing a shoebox gift?
Oh, it's very easy. Go to SamaritansFirst.org. You can find a list of suggested items. All it takes is a trip to your local dollar store to be able to fill one of these. And you can also find, type in your zip code and find all the local drop-off points. We have tons of churches and partners around the country that will gladly take that shoebox.
Well, and it sounds like, Christy, the church you were involved in, you'd been doing this for some time. So your church had gotten involved in this, and that's where you got introduced to the program. So you and your family had been doing it. And then when you actually got to the field, you realized the actual real-life impact that these simple gifts have in the lives of needy children.
Absolutely. And I came back. I was so energized. I had been traveling all day to get back to Alabama, and I came back in late at night, and I was so tired, but I called my husband from the airport, and I said, I've got one stop to make on the way home. I've got to stop and buy some shoeboxes. And I came home with shoeboxes that night, and we started packing them the next day.
Wow. Well, our guest has been Christy Jordan. She got involved in a partner distribution effort with Operation Christmas Child. You can find out more information about how to pack a shoebox gift yourself, about how to get your church involved by going to Samaritan's Purse. That's Samaritan with an S, SamaritansPurse.org. Well, Christy, thanks a lot for taking time out of your very busy schedule to spend some time with us. It's been great, and we are looking forward, all of us here in the AFR family, to a great year of partnering once again with Samaritan's Purse and Operation Christmas Child.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for all that y'all are doing.
All right, Christy, you're welcome, and God bless you. Thank you very much. That is Christy Jordan, who is a contributing editor of Taste of the South magazine and a critic on GSN's Beat the Chefs program. So you might possibly have actually seen her if that's a program that you watch. And the owner and publisher of southernplate.com, one of the top food blogs on the web. Christy Jordan, Operation Christmas Child. So you'll hear more about that as we get as we move forward. But you can go to SamaritansPurse.org, SamaritansPurse.org, and get the information that you need there. Now, we'll take some phone calls over about anything we've talked about, the Libya thing, the campaign, anything else you want to talk about. 888-589-8840 is the number to call. 888-589-8840 is the number to call. One interesting thing, by the way, about this election is if Governor Romney is elected, this is an amazing thing, but if Governor Romney is elected, Ann Romney, his wife, she will be the first pro-life first lady since Roe v. Wade. We have not had a first lady who was pro-life since Roe v. Wade. Pat Nixon was pro-choice. Nancy Reagan said, I believe in a woman's choice. Barbara Bush supports abortion right. Hillary Clinton, of course, far and gone on the pro-abortion side. So Ann Romney will be the very first pro-life first lady we will have had since Roe v. Wade. You know, interesting thing on the abortion issue, I'm looking at a story here from the Telegraph, the London Telegraph, and you know how cavalier we are as a culture about the dismembering of babies in the wombs of their mothers without any kind of outrage, without any kind of complaint. And here's a guy, an artist by the name of Damien Hirst, and he produced a piece of artwork, 2 windowless rooms with nothing but live butterflies in there. So you got these 2 windowless rooms, and all these butterflies are in there flying around. Well, the butterflies die. They got to be replaced. He wound up killing 9,000 butterflies. And there have been outrage all over the UK about these 9,000 butterflies that died so this guy could have his art exhibit, but not a peep about the death of unborn children. Focal Point, AFR Talk, back in 2. Stay with us.